Do you think screaming at the top of your lungs, lashing out, or trying to force them to understand you will ever make them regret what they've done? Be honest with yourself for one moment. Has it ever worked? Let me tell you something that most won't dare to say. Rage is not your weapon, it's their leash. They pull the strings and you react. But silence? Silence is the one thing they never expect. Silence doesn't just confuse them, it dismantles them. Every insult, every game, every manipulative move they play, your silence makes it all crumble. If you've ever been burned, if you've ever felt used or betrayed, this is the video that will change everything for you. And I promise, if you watch until the end, you'll never react the same way again. Comment below right now. I'm ready to take control if you're committed to watching this to the very last word. Number 1. Why anger makes you predictable. Do you know why they laugh behind your back? Why they feel so confident when they poke you, provoke you, and push every single button you have? Because they know what's going to happen. They've seen it 1,000 times before, not just with you, but with others they've crushed under their control. The outbursts, the yelling, the desperate need to be heard, to explain yourself, to make them understand what they've done to you. And every time you do it, you prove them right. You show them exactly what they want to see. Predictable, emotional, easy to control. They set the bait and you bite. They lead and you follow. And no matter how justified your anger feels in the moment, you always end up playing their game. Let me ask you something. When was the last time your anger changed anything? When you yelled, did they stop hurting you? Did they suddenly respect you? Did the betrayal reverse itself, or did they just smirk and watch as you burned yourself out, wasting your energy while they stayed calm, composed, in control? They've mastered this game, and every time you react, you lose. It doesn't matter how right you are, how much pain they caused, or how many tears you cried trying to make them see your side. They've already decided how they want you to look. Out of control, over-emotional, weak. And the worst part? You give them exactly what they need to prove it, every time. But here's the truth no one tells you. They don't actually care about what you say when you're angry. They don't hear your words. They only see your reaction, and that's what they'll use against you. They'll tell everyone you're unstable. They'll paint you as the bad guy in their story, and people will believe them because your reaction becomes your reputation. And when they win, you're left picking up the pieces of your own dignity, wondering how they twisted everything so perfectly. You know what they don't expect? Silence. Total, unshakable silence. The kind of silence that doesn't just confuse them, but exposes them. When you refuse to react, you force them to confront the truth. They're powerless. Every insult they throw, every trap they set, every game they play falls flat when you don't give them what they're craving, your reaction. Silence isn't just the absence of words, it's the absence of validation, the denial of the one thing they need more than anything else, your attention. And without it, they crumble. Think about this for a second. Have you ever seen someone lash out, desperate for a response, only to be met with cold, unshakable silence? It's terrifying. It makes them second-guess everything they thought they knew about you. They replay their words over and over, trying to figure out why you didn't react. They lose sleep, wondering if they've lost their grip on you, if they're losing their power. And in that silence, you've already won. Silence isn't weakness. It's strength. It's control. It's the ultimate way to reclaim your power because it forces them to deal with the one thing they fear the most, themselves. When you stop engaging, they have to face their own insecurities, their own failures, their own hollow existence. And trust me, that's a battle they can't win. You might be thinking, but what about my pain? What about everything they've done to me? Don't I deserve to be heard? Of course you do. But here's the hard truth. Most people don't care about your pain. They don't lose sleep over the nights you cried or the scars you carry. They've moved on while you're stuck in the same cycle of hurt, giving them the satisfaction of knowing they got to you. Stop giving them that. Your silence doesn't mean you're ignoring your pain. It means you're choosing not to give them the satisfaction of seeing it. Your pain isn't their entertainment, and it's not their victory. Imagine this. They insult you, expecting a fight, and instead, you look them dead in the eyes, calm, unbothered, and say nothing. That's the moment they lose control. That's the moment their confidence cracks because they realize they've lost their grip on you. And that silence will echo louder in their mind than any words you could ever say. It will haunt them, eat away at them, because they can't understand why you're not reacting. And the truth is, they don't deserve to understand. They don't deserve any part of you. But silence isn't just about what you don't say. It's about what you do with that space. It's about turning your pain into power, building a life so strong, so full, that their games don't even register on your radar anymore. It's about walking away, not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to know they're not worth your time. Walking away isn't running, it's rising, and every step you take in silence is a step toward freedom, a step toward becoming the kind of man who can't be controlled, who can't be shaken, who can't be broken. Most people will never understand this kind of strength. They'll tell you to fight, to argue, to stand up for yourself, as if screaming louder will ever change the mind of someone who's already decided to see you as less. But the strongest men in history, the ones who left their mark, weren't the loudest. They were the ones who knew when to speak and when to let their silence say everything. You don't need to convince them. You don't need to prove anything to anyone who isn't willing to see your worth. The only thing you need to do is live in a way that makes their opinion irrelevant. Silence is the key to that. It's the line in the sand that says, you don't control me anymore, and once you draw that line, you'll never go back. This is your power. Not your words, not your anger, but your refusal to give them the reaction they're desperate for. And when you master that, when you learn to hold your silence like a weapon, you'll find that the people who once had control over you no longer matter. They'll fade into the background, just noise in a life that's too big, too full, too extraordinary for them to touch. They think they've won when you walk away, but what they don't realize is that walking away isn't losing. It's winning on your terms. It's saying, you're not worth my energy, my time, or my words. And in that moment, you become untouchable. You become the man they'll never forget, not because you yelled the loudest, but because your silence left them questioning everything. This is where you take back your power, not by fighting harder, but by refusing to fight at all. Let your silence do the talking. Let it break them in ways your anger never could. And when they're lying awake at night, replaying every word they said to you, trying to figure out where they lost control, you'll be miles ahead, untouchable, unstoppable, and finally free. Number 2, silence as a disruptor. When you refuse to engage, when you meet every insult, every attack, every manipulative jab with silence, you're not just ignoring them, you're dismantling them. Silence is not passive, it's not avoidance. It's the most powerful act of control a man can wield because it puts you in the driver's seat. You dictate the terms. You decide when and how you'll respond, if at all. And when you stay silent, you rob them of their favorite tool, your reaction. Modern relationships are a battlefield of power dynamics, and the one who controls their emotions controls the game. But the moment you allow anger or frustration to take over, you hand them the keys. They expect you to argue, to plead, to fight for their attention or validation. That's their playbook. They've used it 100 times before because it works. But silence is the play they never prepared for. Imagine this. They throw a tantrum, accuse you of things you didn't do, insult you, even bring up your deepest insecurities. And instead of fighting back, you just sit there, calm, collected, unbothered. Your silence pierces them in ways words never could. It forces them to sit with their own emotions, their own manipulations, their own insecurity. You become a mirror, reflecting their chaos right back at them. And the truth is, most people can't handle their own reflection. Silence isn't just about refusing to speak. It's about denying them control. It's about standing firm, unshaken, while they unravel in the very storm they tried to create for you. And trust me, they will unravel. Because silence is the one response they can't twist, manipulate, or weaponize against you. It leaves them powerless, exposed, and worst of all, questioning themselves. But here's what you have to understand about silence. It's not easy. It requires discipline, strength, and a deep sense of self-worth. You have to be willing to let go of the need to prove yourself, to correct their narrative, to defend your name. You have to accept that their opinion of you is irrelevant. Because silence isn't about them, it's about you. It's about choosing your peace over their chaos, your growth over their games. In modern relationships, people will test you. They'll see how far they can push you, how much they can take from you before you break. And when you don't break, when you meet their tests with unshakable silence, it terrifies them. It shows them that you're not like the others. You're not someone they can manipulate, control, or destroy. You're a fortress, and their games are nothing more than pebbles against your walls. Think about this. How many times have you gotten into an argument and afterward felt drained, angry, and defeated? How many nights have you stayed up replaying the fight in your head, thinking about what you should have said, what you should have done differently? That's the cost of engaging. That's the price you pay every time you let them pull you into their chaos. But silence? Silence costs you nothing. It doesn't drain your energy or rob you of your peace. It keeps you grounded, focused, and in control. And the best part? It costs them everything. When they can't provoke you, they lose their power. When they can't control your emotions, they lose their influence. And when they lose those things, they're forced to confront the one thing they've been running from their entire lives, themselves. And that's the beauty of silence. It doesn't just protect you, it destroys them. Number 3, turning pain into power. Pain is unavoidable. If you're alive, if you're human, you're going to experience pain, betrayal, heartbreak, disappointment. It's all part of the deal. But pain isn't the enemy. Pain is your greatest teacher, your most powerful ally if you know how to use it. The problem is, most men don't. Most men let their pain consume them. They drown in it, letting it define them, control them, weaken them. But you're not most men. And your pain isn't your prison, it's your forge. Think about this. Diamonds are created under pressure. Steel is tempered in fire. The strongest materials on earth are forged through the most intense conditions. And you're no different. Every betrayal, every insult, every heartbreak, it's shaping you, strengthening you, hardening you into the man you were meant to become. But only if you let it. Only if you take that pain and use it as fuel. Too many men let pain break them. They let it turn them bitter, angry, resentful. They carry their wounds like badges, using them as excuses for why they can't move forward, why they can't trust, why they can't succeed. But what they don't realize is that every wound is an opportunity, every scar is a lesson, every moment of pain is a chance to grow, to evolve, to become something more. You don't get stronger by avoiding pain. You get stronger by facing it, by embracing it, by letting it teach you what you need to learn. Pain shows you who you are. It strips away the facade, the ego, the lies you tell yourself, and forces you to confront the truth. And the truth is, you're capable of more than you think. You're stronger than you know. And the only thing standing between you and that strength is your willingness to endure. But here's the key. You don't show them your pain. You don't let them see the cracks, the scars, the nights you spent picking yourself up off the floor. Not because you're hiding it, but because they don't deserve it. Your pain isn't for them, it's for you. It's your fuel, your fire, your foundation. And when you've built something incredible from it, when you've turned that pain into power, they won't even recognize the man you've become. Number 4, walking away shatters their control. Walking away is the ultimate act of power. It says, "You're not worth my time, my energy, or my words." And yet so many men see walking away as weakness. They think it's giving up, surrendering, admitting defeat. But the truth is, walking away isn't about them. It's about you. It's about choosing yourself, your peace, your future over their chaos. Think about the last time you walked away from someone toxic. How did they react? Did they accept it with grace? Or did they try to pull you back in? Did they try to manipulate you, guilt you, convince you to stay? That's because walking away takes their power away. It forces them to face the reality that they can't control you, that you're not playing their game anymore, and that reality terrifies them. Walking away isn't running, it's rising. It's stepping out of the mud they're trying to drag you into and climbing to higher ground. It's choosing freedom over control, growth over stagnation, peace over conflict. And every step you take away from them is a step toward the man you're meant to be. But walking away isn't easy. It takes strength, discipline, and a deep sense of self-worth. You have to be willing to let go of the need to explain yourself, to justify your actions, to make them understand why you're leaving. Because the truth is, they'll never understand. They don't want to. They want you to stay, to argue, to fight, because that's how they keep you under their control. When you walk away, you don't just take back your power, you shatter theirs. You show them that their opinion of you doesn't matter, that their games don't work, that their control over you is gone. And that realization will haunt them far more than any argument ever could. Walking away isn't about being cold or unfeeling. It's about being strong enough to choose yourself. It's about recognizing that you deserve better, that you're worth more, that your time and energy are too valuable to waste on someone who doesn't see your worth. And when you walk away, when you choose silence, when you rise above their games, you become untouchable. You become the man they'll never forget, not because you fought the hardest, but because you walked away with your dignity, your peace, and your power intact. Your silence is not weakness. It's the loudest roar of a man who refuses to be controlled, manipulated, or broken. When you stop reacting, you stop being their puppet, and when you walk away, you destroy their illusion of power. Let your actions speak louder than their games. Let your success burn brighter than their chaos, and let your silence haunt them far longer than your words ever could. If you're ready to reclaim your strength and build a life so powerful it renders their existence irrelevant, hit that subscribe button and join the brotherhood of men who refuse to kneel. Comment below, "I choose silence," and let's show the world what happens when a man rises above. Your support makes this message reach others who need it most, because every man deserves to take back his power.